Well, uh, I know this took me a while to actually do another video, but it's been about 5 days since my last one. But I thought I might as well mention a couple things that I wanted to actually talk about. Let's talk about E3. For all three companies, honestly, Microsoft, you probably got a new customer named Alan Kim, which is me, because honestly, you guys are doing what Sony used to do, which was backwards compatibility, and honestly, in retrospect to that, you guys killed it. You guys flew out Sony tenfold. I might be using my PS4 right now, but who knows? Maybe I'll consider it buying an Xbox in the near future, because honestly, I'm only using my PS4 as a giant YouTube device. That's it. I'm rarely playing games, because honestly, when I heard about Sony at E3, I was like, I'm looking at it like Spider-Man, God of War. Okay, that's it. And Assassin's Creed. Okay, but honestly, of course I'm gonna get Assassin's Creed for my PS4. But that's because I have almost all the games on my PS4. But if I didn't buy Assassin's Creed from the beginning on my PS4 or my PlayStation, I would be buying an Xbox right now for it, with all the collections in it. And honestly, Spider-Man, okay, that looks nice, but I was not impressed with what I heard about Sony. No backwards compatibility. It's already been 3 years. Give up this exclusivity crap, Sony. Exclusivity is like out the door, just like what you may call, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, in school, we talked about plagiarizing. We can't copy people, but with other people's words and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody uses some sort of copying thing, except when it comes to Nintendo. They tried the whole backwards compatibility thing, which they still sort of do it, but in their own way. They copy their past designs of their system, because everybody wants a Wii. Okay, I want a Wii because here's why. Because I'm a nostalgia kid. I'm like one of those guys who plays Nintendo. And PS4. And maybe I will consider this my future endeavor in Xbox. Because the one thing that Xbox has that Sony doesn't have anymore is backwards compatibility. I can't state the fact, I can't stress it enough that Xbox used to be where what is Sony doing now for PS4. But they learned from their past mistakes. They've learned to adapt to their environment. Okay, with their huge library of Xbox games, they learned to change the landscape of their own system problems. But I commend you, Xbox, for doing what Sony used to do. I mean, bravo. And same goes for the Wii. You know why? The Switch. The Switch. Because the price point is $350 without any games and stuff like that. That's a perfect sweet spot for anyone who wants a Wii. Honestly, the Wii will probably beat out Sony hands down, because everybody likes Zelda. Everybody. I don't care. I like Zelda, I like Mario, but the only game they're actually missing, I'm going to old school games, is Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt is an awesome game. I don't know why Nintendo won't bring out a new generation Duck Hunt game. I don't like hunting animals in real life, but I'll hunt them in a video game. I'll be like, I guess. But what I'm saying about, like, what I was saying about Sony earlier, their press conference was so boring. I mean, they talked about Uncharted, which is fine. I know it's one of their staples. They talked about what was it? God of War. And honestly, I'm still upset that he roars like a bear. I'm kind of sad that he roars like an animal. Excuse me. I gotta sit up. Honestly, Sony needs to do something fast before they're losing all their customer base. Even though I was very skeptical about buying a PS4 in the first place. And here's the proof of that. E3 does nothing for Sony now. They should not even bother, because they should not even bother coming out to play, because they're not playing with a full deck of cards. They're not playing with a full hand. You know why? Because all they talk about is their VR stuff. Okay, in their press conference. I was like, the VR stuff is nice, but I think purposely, you know why the VR machine was made? It's because eventually they want to keep their jobs, so they're making the future generation of gamers blind. I think that's what it is. Because when I play VR stuff, or any kind of virtual reality with those big visor glasses, I'm like, the last time I played a VR thing, I was tearing up for 2 days. Because that's what VR does to me. But VR is not for everybody. I'm not one of those guys that will buy a VR machine for $500 just to play VR games. I'm not gonna do that. I know most of you would want to spend, what was it, $500 on that VR machine, and I can't even lift it with my face because it's so heavy. That's another reason why I can't play VR, because I'm always sitting down. So, in retrospect, honestly, that's why I can't play VR. That's why I'm not gonna waste $500 on that piece of equipment. And honestly, I think the Sony's press conference, in a nutshell, was rather disappointing to me. Out of the scale from 1 to 10, they disappointed me greatly. I would say it was a 2. With all the games that they have, it was such a disappointment. I was like, really? Within that hour you talked about games and all that stuff, but the only thing that interested me was Assassin's Creed, which finally, it's in Egypt. Yes, I was waiting for an Assassin's Creed in Egypt. I was really waiting for that. I was like, yes, now I could play now I actually want to play Assassin's Creed, because it's in Egypt. And honestly, because I like the whole Pharaoh thing, I wouldn't mind looking at some of the history that they actually used in Egypt. So I would state the fact that that was the only interesting part. The only game I'm actually interested in when it comes to E3. I'm not interested in, what's it called? God of War. I'll buy it, but I'm not interested in it. But I'm definitely gonna buy Assassin's Creed, because I was just waiting for them to come out with a Egyptian version of the actual game. I wonder what kind of collector's edition that Assassin's Creed, because it's in Egypt, they'll have. Is it gonna have a pyramid or something with the new character in it? Because that would be awesome. What else? Let's see. And honestly, the Switch also possibly again, because I'm a huge Zelda fan. I'm a huge Mario fan. So I'm kind of torn, because my PS4 does nothing for me right now. And it is really saddening that the PS4 is a $400 machine that only plays Blu-ray discs, no CDs, and no backwards compatibility. And it's kind of sad. Yeah. I know you're gonna say that. Honestly, for that, to answer your question, because I've never actually bought an Xbox, if you're still there. The Pokemon game? For the Switch. Which one? For the Switch or the 3DS? If you're talking about the Nintendo 3DS, I'm gonna have to trade in my other games to get Sun and Moon 2 or whatever it's called. Honestly, Sun and Moon was actually pretty boring. Even though I averaged 300 hours into it, I was like, and it's set in my favorite place of contention, which is Hawaii. So when I looked at Black and White, when I looked at what's it called, Sun and Moon, I'm like hoping that it was gonna be awesome, but I was like kind of disappointed. But will I get the new Sun and Moon games? Possibly. And what do I think about the Switch? I think it's awesome, to answer your question. Their Pokemon tournament on the Switch? It's cool. I heard about that. That is gonna be awesome, I must say. And honestly, to answer that question, what am I thinking of when I talk about Xbox? Honestly, these guys actually deserve credit where credit is due, where Sony dropped the ball on their PS4. Because Sony back in the day had backwards compatibility. But Sony doesn't have that anymore because they talk about exclusivity all the time. But Microsoft makes backwater deals with companies all the time. So that's why I think it's time. Either if I don't get a Switch, I'm gonna get an Xbox, because that machine, even though it looks small like a GameCube, I'm gonna probably consider buying an Xbox, because Sony was kind of disappointing. Yeah, I've been playing Pokemon for the... If you're asking about that, Pokemon for the last 20 years, yes. I've been duped 20 years for playing Pokemon. But... Oh, and on that note, to add to Nintendo's 3DS, I bought the I grabbed this game 8 days ago, and this was my official first Fire Emblem game. My very first one. I dabbled in it briefly for Fire Emblem just to test out the gaming mechanics, but this is my first official one, and surprisingly, yes, it is good. Took 8 days to beat on casual difficulty. I played on, I guess you may call it normal then, if it's on casual, but I haven't even attempted to play it on the hardest difficulty, which is the normal version in that game, the actual, where characters can't be revived without the special medicine thing that revives them, which are in temples. Honestly, this game is surprisingly a very, very interesting game. But I'll go into more detail about that some other time. Because I was up practically when I was playing this game until every day for the past 4 days. I was up until 4 a.m. in the morning, usually, when I was playing. Yeah. So... Yep. Thanks. And honestly, Nintendo does good work for what it is. I gotta dabble in there for a second when I talk about this. Because Nintendo, even though they're not as powerful as Microsoft or the shameful Sony PS4, they make good games. They make good enough games for people to pick up their system. I mean, and it's more kid-friendly too, so what can I say? Honestly, on that note, Sony's press conference for E3 was so boring. I was expecting more out of them after 3 years of development. Let me tell you the difference between the PS3 and the PS4. By the time the third year rolled around for PS3, I was already at roughly I would say about 15 to 30 games on my PS3 because of backwards compatibility. And that's why I bought a PS3 in the first place, because I'm looking for that. I'm actually one of the few players that looks for backwards compatibility. I don't care about how much graphically things are improving. Nowadays, from the PS2 to the PS3, you could only improve it so much before it starts looking real. And eventually, because of that kind of mindset, that it's gonna cost gamers a lot more money to play those games because they're looking for the next upgrading graphics. Honestly, I don't care that much about graphics. I care from the PS2 graphics to the PS3 graphics. It was a great improvement. You know why? It had 7 years to develop. But the PS4 doesn't have that. So yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, but that's the only game I'm probably looking forward to. And honestly, I don't know when Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. And I'm beginning to not care, because everybody says they bought a PS4 for Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry to break it to you, but because what the company of Square Enix and Sony are banking the fact that they're always stating that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. But here's the problem. Disney owns the rights to everything now. Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have to add Pokemon. They're gonna have to add Beyblade. So you got three other franchises that you have to add into the Kingdom Hearts phenomenon that is Kingdom Hearts, or 2 other franchises, and I forgot about the third, Marvel too. So think about it that way. Honestly, from this point, Square Enix is just stalling because I don't know why Disney owns the rights to everything. That's why I don't think they should own Pokemon, because now they're gonna have to have a reason to add a Pokemon section in that game. So you're looking at least another 8 years or another 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 3 ever exists. By the time that game will come out, I don't know, maybe something's gonna happen where I'm gonna have a little one, and he or she is gonna be interested in games, and I'm gonna be like, this game is still not out yet? And honestly, I really don't know if what Sony was thinking. Because honestly, because they don't have backwards compatibility, which eh, kills their business. They always talk about exclusivity, which Microsoft has that. They actually take other companies come to Microsoft now and say, want me to make a game for you? And they say, you know what they say? Yes. But honestly, about Spider-Man, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, just as much as Iron Man. But the last movie for either one of those franchises, officially Iron Man movie, like, in my opinion, honestly sucked. It was the whole script that was bad. The acting was good and all great and stuff like that, but the script made that movie terrible. See, I think the Spider-Man Homecoming thing will do the same thing. Because for some reason I'm a little skeptical, because the last the Amazing Spider-Man, I'm thinking it's the Alex Ross one, the one that has a ego, the ego Spider-Man. And then I'm thinking this one is the Spider-Man without the Peter Parker without any superpowers. That's why he has to wear the suit, because that Tony Stark made. I'm like, what? So, but the legitimate subject matter is that the first Iron Man movie was awesome. The second one, I tolerated it. The third one was just trash film. And honestly, the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, I will legitimately say those are better Spider-Man movies than the one that they're coming out with now, because it just looks like that. I'm like, wait a minute, he doesn't have powers, but the suit gives him powers. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm lost here. So, but I must state the fact that, on that note, the Spider-Man game actually looks better than the actual movie does. I'll state that obvious fact, because I want to see on that note also, I actually want to see a Spider-Man movie with Madam Web in it and the Beyonder, because in 1995, you know, the animated series had 6 different Spider-Men in it. So I wanna see that version. I wanna see that movie come to life. I just wanna see it. So, but on that note, like I said, Sony needed to impress me after 3 years of nothing. Which God of War is fine, but still, that's it. And Uncharted, and their VR thing, which kind of shocks me that you have to spend a total of $900 to get the whole caboodle, including their VR. I mean, future gamers, I'm gonna save you a couple $100. Don't get a PS4, because I'm looking at the games that I have now for the PS4. I only have about 13. By the time that the PS3 came out with all their games with backwards compatibility, I already had 30. And that's when they had backwards compatibility for the PS3. I already had 30 games already within the past 3 years when that system came out. PS4, I only have about 13. And do I want to keep them all? Only the good ones, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Deus Ex. Thank you, Square Enix. But those are the only 2 games that I actually play. And this one, Nier Automata. That's about it. Like, I waited 3 years for only playing 3 games. And who knows, for all the Kingdom Hearts fans out there, don't get your whole hopes up for that game ever coming out. I mean, that's the bottom line. I've officially categorized it, the game that will exist, but who knows when it will exist. Because, what was it? The other one. The Last Guardian took about, 13 years to make. The Last Guardian probably lost funding when it was in development. So they needed an actual different publisher to actually finish off the game. Because it took 12 years to make. After 12 years to make something, I would lose hope making that game. Yup. These are my thoughts about E3, dude. Honestly, Sony's press conference was boring. I almost fell asleep when I was watching it online. And that has 0 commercials. Unless you're talking about Sony's press conference when it's on their website. Their commercials, I don't know if it has commercials or not. Because when it was on G4, it was easy to tell. Then I could actually go to the restroom, take a break, eat, and come back and listen to what I'm missing about E3. But if Sony comes out with press conferences like this all the time, I might as well fall asleep and play games like this. Let's see, what else? But my overall assessment for Sony's press conference and Microsoft's press conference and Nintendo's, it's a no-brainer. Both of those companies, Microsoft and Nintendo, beat out Sony. No-brainer. And do I care enough to actually wait for them to get back on the horse and fix their mistake of buying a when people bought a PS4? Yes. Do I have the patience for it? No. Because it's already been 3 years. Wait, 4 years now. I would assume that the PS4 was in development, and they still barely have any games for it. I don't know about that, man. Probably Assassin's Creed. That was what I was waiting for, because it's set in ancient Egypt. It's set in Egypt. So that's what I was waiting for, that game to be made for Assassin's Creed. I'm not happy about God of War. I know people are happy about God of War, but I'm a fan of God of War, but after hearing Kratos roar a couple times like a bear, I'm not down with that. I'm still not down with that, but I'll buy the game. But I wonder what kind of collector's edition God of War will actually have, considering, because you got axes, Kratos' new weapon, which is an axe, and maybe they'll make a collector's edition out of that somewhere. But God of War does not interest me. Assassin's Creed does, because I wonder what kind of collector's edition they'll have. Will it be the pyramids of Egypt? Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be nice. Hold on, what else? So I need to get a Switch because not because of Pokemon, because of the new Mario game. I was like, wow. I was like, that was awesome. I was like, I almost cried because it was so pretty. I was like, wow. But it's gonna take about 4 years to make. I would assume, based on that. So I'll wait at least 4 years before I get a Switch. what game? The only reason why I would buy an Xbox is because all the games are playable on the X Xbox X. Honestly, I'm considering it. Like, really considering it. Because Xbox is doing what Sony used to do, which was backwards compatibility. And that hurts me. That hurts my soul that Xbox, Sony doesn't do it anymore. That's why I'm considering buying a Xbox X. Honestly, about the PS5, I don't know. Depending on if the PS4 survives, in my opinion, which they've already made 4 different versions of the same console with 4 different designs on it, which is kind of sad. But like I said to my friend here, I almost cried when I saw the Switch, when I saw Mario. So I'm gonna probably consider that one first, or maybe I'll consider the Xbox first, the Switch second, if I bought those consoles in that particular order. Really? You think that? 2018? Well, the only way I'll buy a PS5 is if backwards compatibility exists in that console. Because wait, where's the Blu-ray disc that I have? Right here. Where is it? Nah. It doesn't play these games. I mean, who makes a Blu-ray disc gaming console that does not allow former Blu-ray discs to be played on the PS4? That's why the only way I'll buy a PS5 is if they put backwards compatibility of some sort in their console. Actual disc-based backwards compatibility. You see this, Sony? I hope you're looking at this. You know what game this is? It's a it's a PS3 game. You know what it is? It's Jade Star versus for the PS3. And is it out for the PS4? No. Wait, is it out for the PS4? Yes. But do I want the PS4 version? No. Because this one looks prettier. Look at the architecture, look at the color on the actual box. And surprisingly, this is probably cheaper than the PS4 version, or the same exact price from when I bought it. and I bought this one off of Amazon. Yeah, I know they're known for computers and stuff, but if Microsoft fails in their gaming department, the part of their market, they could always go back to their computers. That's why they will never fail, because everybody buys a computer every 3 to 4 years. So, but the Xbox is a side project. But seriously, they kick Sony's butt every year now. I don't get it. Sony needs to get a new president. Sony needs everything. Sony needs a better... I mean, they need a better presenter when it comes to their press conferences, because damn, I was like, God of War, Spider-Man, that was it? Really? 2? And Uncharted, that's it. That's all you got for me? That's it? Because the only reason why I don't categorize Assassin's Creed in that is because it's gonna be out for both consoles. It's gonna be out for Xbox and Sony. That's it. So I don't count that as Sony's thing anymore. So because it's coming out for both. But will I buy Assassin's Creed? Yes, because it's set in Egypt now. So yeah, I'm down with that. So in retrospect, I don't know what else I want to talk about, because ultimately, and I'll retitle this later, because when I titled it, it takes me too long to type, so I'll retitle this over my phone when I'm done with this. But I think that's it for what I was gonna say, because Microsoft basically killed it. Sony was totally a disappointment. Yeah. And we agreed on both your guys' opinions on it. And Microsoft, and the Switch kills it, or the Switch killed it just on the fact that they're coming out with Mario, and they already have Zelda, and they're coming out with another actual Pokemon game that does not have to do anything with 3DS. So I'm down. I'm totally down. I'm totally gonna get a Switch. I'm down with that. I'm sold. I was already sold, but here's because all you need for games are 6 games for the Switch. If you think about it, you need a Zelda title, you need Mario, and you need, what else? Super Smash Brothers. That's it. And Metroid. That's 4 titles. You need those 4 titles to make that gaming console worth it. But Sony needs 13, 30, whatever number it may be. They need a whole lot more to impress me. After waiting 3 years to buy this PS4, it's not worth anything. It's worth chicken scratch. And the Xbox X is going to be worth it. For all those gamers that have the money, I suggest you go buy one. I mean, it does everything Sony does. And honestly, I think they've been listening to me, because they're probably not watching my YouTube channel, but Microsoft, you did awesome. I condone what you guys are doing. And it doesn't hurt that I know people that work at the Microsoft store at South Coast Plaza, so here's a shout out to those guys too. You guys did superb. Switch Nintendo users, you guys definitely beat out Sony hands down. Sony, boo-hoo. I want to cry for your embarrassment for ever making a PS4. Yeah, me too. I wonder about everything when everything is going down. Well, I'm gonna be taking off soon. I'm gonna be doing something. I'm gonna be doing something else, so I gotta go. Or maybe I'll play this again. While I'm out. So, I'll check you guys later. Where's my internet? Yup.
Text to speech unavailable here. Text to speech unavailable here.
Hey,